Okay, Alex, I want you to think about a specific, universally beloved experience that can also, under the right circumstances, become an absolute nightmare of confusion, sticky floors, and linguistic panic.
Oh, wow. That is a very dramatic way to start the podcast. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Going to the movie theater.
The movie theater? Yes. Specifically, the experience of trying to navigate the cinema in a second language.
Oh, that is a special kind of stress. On a scale of 1 to 10, my anxiety when I have to buy movie tickets, figure out the seating, and understand the movie all at the same time is easily an 8. Maybe a 9 if it is a crowded Friday night and the line is moving very fast.
A 9? That is incredibly high. You are an intelligent, capable adult. You build complex software systems. But a movie ticket kiosk makes you want to just go home and stare at a wall?
It is not just the kiosk, Sophia. It is the entire ecosystem of the cinema. In my home country, going to the movies is very straightforward. You buy a ticket, you buy a snack, you sit down, but here, there are so many unspoken rules and specific vocabulary. Reserved seating, matinee, concessions, aisle seat. It is a lot to process when you just want to relax and watch a film.
I completely understand that. Movie theaters are designed to be efficient. But that efficiency often comes at the cost of clarity, especially for language learners.
Exactly. And there is this pressure to be quick. The teenager working at the ticket counter is looking at you. The people behind you are sighing, and your brain just freezes. I had a terrible experience with this a few years ago.
Oh, I can hear the trauma in your voice. Do not hold out on me. Tell me the story.
I was hoping we would skip this part, but I know the rules. Okay. Fine. It was about 3 years ago. A new, highly anticipated action movie had just come out. I had been waiting for it for months. I decided to go see it on opening night. I walked into the theater, and it was packed.
Opening night energy. High stakes. Loud crowds. Very fast. Paced.
Yes. I got in line to buy my ticket and my snacks. I was feeling confident. I had my money ready. I stepped up to the counter, and the young employee, who looked like he would rather be anywhere else in the world, looked at me and said, "What can I get for you?" "Tickets and concessions."
Standard. Slightly bored movie theater. Employee opening.
Yes. Now, I knew the word ticket. But concessions? My brain circuited. I knew the word concession. In business or in an argument, a concession is when you yield, or give in, or compromise. You make a concession to reach an agreement.
Oh no! I see exactly where this is going.
Yes. I thought, okay, this is a place where I negotiate. I need to make a deal for my snacks. I wanted to sound professional and polite. So, I looked him in the eye, and I said, very seriously, "Hello. I would like to make a concession for a large popcorn and a soda."
You wanted to make a concession for popcorn.
Yes.
Alex? No.
I said it with total, sincere confidence. "I would like to make a concession. I will pay $8. and you concede the popcorn to me.
I am losing my mind. I am actually crying. What did the teenager's face do?
He stopped chewing his gum. He stared at me. He looked at the popcorn machine, then back at me. And he said, very slowly, "Bro, you just have to pay for it. It is not a negotiation."
Wiping away tears. Oh, Alex. That is incredible.
I was so confused. I said, "But the sign says concessions. I am ready to concede." He just sighed, tapped the screen, and said, "That's just the snack bar. Man, do you want the popcorn or not?"
I cannot breathe. That's just the snack bar. Man. You were trying to engage in high-stakes diplomatic negotiations over buttered popcorn.
I wanted the sticky floor to open up and swallow me whole. I just mumbled, "Yes, the snack bar. I will take it." And I walked away as fast as I could. I spent the entire movie feeling like I had just failed a basic life skills test.
Okay. First of all, that is a hilarious story. Second of all, I promise you, that teenager forgot about it 30 seconds later. Movie theater workers see weird things every single night. You are just a drop in the ocean of cinema weirdness.
Logically, I know that, but in the moment, you feel so foolish. You are an adult, but you feel like a child who does not understand the basic rules of buying snacks.
I hear you. It is that gap between your actual intelligence and your ability to decode fast, casual, native speech in a specific context. But let's look at what actually happened. You got your popcorn? You watched the movie? You survived. That is a huge win. Even if the vocabulary tripped you up.
I suppose so. But it made me realize how much specific vocabulary is tied to places like this.
That is so true. And it highlights a really important point for our listeners. When we are put on the spot in a second language, especially in a stressful environment, like a busy ticket line, our brains default to literal translations. We panic, and we grab the first definition of a word we know.
Exactly. So, please, Sophia, give me the toolkit. How do I navigate the movie theater without sounding like I'm trying to sign a peace treaty with the snack bar?
Okay, let's demystify this. The most common B1, B2 movie theater phrases are actually quite logical, once you know the context. Let's start with the one that caused the trauma, concessions.
It just means the food and drinks sold at the theater. Popcorn, candy, soda. Got it. No diplomatic yielding required.
Exactly. It is called a concession stand because historically, the theater conceded or gave the right to sell food to a third party vendor. But today, it just means the snack bar. Now, what about matinee?
I have seen this word on ticket websites. I always thought it was the name of a specific, fancy type of movie. Like, I am going to see the matinee.
Laughs. I love that. A matinee is simply a daytime showing of a movie, usually in the afternoon, and it is often cheaper than the evening show.
Ah, so it is not a genre. It is just a time of day. That makes so much sense. What about reserved seating?
That means you choose your exact seat when you buy your ticket. Like row F, seat 12. You cannot just sit anywhere.
I have been victimized by reserved seating. The first time I saw it on a ticket, I did not know what it meant. I just walked into the theater and sat in the front row. Then, 5 minutes later, a couple walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, I think you are in our seats." I had to gather my things and move to the back, feeling like I had committed a crime.
Oh, the walk of shame to the back of the theater. We have all been there. Alex? Even native speakers sometimes miss the reserved seating note on their tickets.
That makes me feel slightly better. What about the seat itself? I always want to sit near the walkway, so I can leave easily if I need to.
That is called an aisle seat. The aisle is the walkway between the rows of seats. So you can say, "Can I get 2 tickets? Preferably aisle seats. Please?"
Aisle seat. I like that. It is very specific and useful. And what about the short movies they show before the main film? I used to call them the small movies.
Laughs, the small movies. Those are called trailers or previews.
Trailers. Yes, I have heard that, but for a long time, I thought trailer meant the movie was going to be short. Like a trailer for a house is smaller than a house.
That is actually a very logical connection to make. But in the film industry, a trailer is just a short promotional video for an upcoming movie. And previews is another common word for the same thing.
Okay, this is making me feel much more prepared. But Sophia, there is another part of the movie theater experience that terrifies me even more than buying the ticket.
Oh no! What is it?
Watching the movie itself. Specifically, listening to the dialogue in English without subtitles.
Ah, the subtitle dilemma? This is a huge, real issue for so many language learners.
Yes, I want to be a real English speaker. I want to prove to myself that I can understand a movie without reading the text at the bottom of the screen. So, I turn the subtitles off. And then, within 10 minutes, the characters start talking fast. They use slang. They mumble. And I have absolutely no idea what is happening.
I hear this so often. There is this false idea that using subtitles is cheating, or that it means your English is bad.
Exactly. I sit there, sweating, trying to piece together the plot from visual clues. Okay, he is holding a gun, and she is crying. So maybe he is the bad guy? Or maybe they are breaking up. I miss all the jokes, all the nuance.
Alex, I want to challenge that thought right now. Using subtitles is not cheating. It is a tool. Even native speakers use subtitles.
Really? Native speakers use subtitles?
All the time. Have you ever tried to watch a movie with a heavy accent? Or a movie with a lot of background noise? Or a movie where the actors mumble? Native speakers turn on the subtitles for those, too. It is called closed captioning, and it is incredibly common.
I had no idea. I always thought it was just a crutch for language learners.
Not at all. And here is a pro tip for you. If you want to improve your listening skills, do not just turn the subtitles off completely. That is like trying to run a marathon without training. Instead, try a hybrid approach.
A hybrid approach.
Yes. Watch the movie with English subtitles on? Your brain will naturally connect the spoken word to the written word. After a while, you will find yourself reading less and listening more. Or try turning the subtitles off for just 10 minutes at a time, and then turn them back on to check if you understood correctly.
That is a really nice way to look at it. It takes the pressure off. I do not have to be perfect. I can use the tools available to me.
Exactly. Your goal is to enjoy the movie, not to pass a listening comprehension test. If you are stressed out the entire time, you are not going to remember the vocabulary anyway.
That makes so much sense. But what if I'm at the theater, and I really do not understand what a character just said, and it seems important to the plot?
Well, you cannot exactly pause the movie and ask the screen to repeat itself. But you can ask your friend if you are with someone. It is completely natural to lean over and whisper, "Wait, what did he just say?" Or, "Did I miss something?"
Did I miss something? That is a great, natural phrase. It does not sound like my English is bad. It sounds like you are just checking your understanding.
Exactly. It is a very collaborative way to watch a movie. Now, since we are on the topic of movie theater struggles, I want to try something with you. A little role play.
Oh no. I knew this was coming. My imaginary popcorn is already getting cold.
It will be fun. I promise. And it is great practice. I am going to be the busy, slightly bored ticket counter employee. You are going to approach the counter, buy a ticket for a specific movie, ask for an aisle seat, and buy your snacks without trying to negotiate. Ready?
Okay. I'm ready. No concessions. No diplomatic yielding. Just a normal moviegoer.
Perfect. Shifts posture. Adopts a casual, slightly distracted teenage voice. Yeah. What can I get for you?
Clears throat. Speaks clearly and politely. Hi. I would like one ticket for the 7 p.m. showing of the new action movie. Please. If possible. I would prefer an aisle seat.
All right. I can do aisle. That'll be $15. Do you want any concessions with that?
Yes. Please. I will take a large popcorn and a medium soda.
Breaks character. Smiling widely. Oh. Alex, that was absolutely flawless.
Really? It felt a little bit formal, but I was trying to be clear.
It was perfect. You stated exactly what you wanted. One ticket for the 7 p.m. showing. You added a polite preference. Prefer an aisle seat. And when I asked about concessions, you answered directly without trying to make a deal. You sounded like a confident, regular moviegoer.
It feels much safer to have a script like that. When I'm nervous, I either explain, I am sorry. I am not from here. I do not know how this works. Or I just point at the screen and grunt.
And both of those extremes are problematic. Over explaining makes you seem insecure. And grunting is just, well, it is not very polite. The clear, direct approach keeps you perfectly in the middle.
I'm definitely writing that down. But Sophia, I have to be honest. All of this movie theater anxiety, It is deeply tied to a feeling of missing out.
I hear you. Say more about that.
Well, when you watch a movie in your native language, you get all the jokes. You understand the cultural references. You feel connected to the story. But in English, I often feel like I'm watching the movie through a foggy window. I see the shapes, but I miss the details. It makes me feel excluded.
That is such a profound and valid feeling. We watch movies to connect with stories and with other people. When a language barrier gets in the way, it can feel incredibly isolating.
Exactly. You feel like you're on the outside looking in. You think, I am a smart person. Why can I not just understand this simple comedy?
Because comedy is one of the hardest things to understand in a second language. It relies on timing, tone, cultural context, and wordplay. Even advanced English learners struggle with comedy. You are not failing, you are just tackling one of the highest levels of language comprehension.
That is a really nice way to look at it. I usually just blame my vocabulary.
Your vocabulary is fine. The movie is just fast and full of slang. And honestly, Alex, this entire conversation really highlights something important about the language learning journey. We focus so much on the big milestones, but the real magic happens in these tiny, everyday moments.
The tiny moments.
Yes. The moment you confidently ask for an aisle seat. The moment you realize concessions just mean snacks. The moment you turn on the English subtitles and give yourself permission to just enjoy the film. Those are the moments where you are actually living the language.
That is a really beautiful way to look at it. I usually just think of those moments as embarrassing failures, but they are actually proof of progress.
Exactly. Every awkward question is a victory. Every misunderstood phrase is a lesson learned. You are building your confidence one movie ticket at a time.
One movie ticket at a time. I like that. I'm going to use that.
You should. Now, since we are experts on cinema survival, I want to do a quick rapid fire scenario game. Movie theater edition? I will give you a situation, and you give me your immediate, natural response. No overthinking.
Okay. My popcorn is secure, and I have left my negotiation skills at home. Hit me.
Scenario 1. You are in the theater, and the people behind you are talking loudly and texting with their screens on.
I would turn around slightly and say, "Excuse me, could you please keep it down?" It is a little hard to hear the movie.
Perfect. Polite. Direct. And sets a clear boundary without being aggressive. Scenario 2. You realize you left your phone on silent, but you are expecting an urgent call from your family.
I would whisper to my friend, "I am going to step out to the lobby for a minute in case my phone rings. I will be right back."
Excellent. Step out to the lobby is a very natural phrase. Scenario 3. You get to the ticket counter, and the employee says, "Sorry, that showing is completely sold out."
I would say, "Oh, that is a shame. What time is the next available showing?"
Yes, flawless. You acknowledge the situation politely and immediately ask for a solution. Scenario 4. You're watching a movie, and a character uses a slang word you do not know. But you do not want to miss the next scene by asking your friend.
I would just make a mental note of the word. And later I would say, "Hey, earlier in the movie, what did he mean when he said that word?"
Gasps, Alex. That is a perfect, emotionally intelligent response. You prioritize enjoying the movie in the moment, but you still take the initiative to learn the vocabulary later. That is B2 C1 level communication right there.
Really? I just used the strategy you gave me.
And you used it perfectly in context. That is how language acquisition works. You hear it. You understand it? And then you make it your own. You should be very proud of that.
I am definitely writing "step out to the lobby" on my imaginary movie ticket.
Please do. And you know, Alex, this entire conversation really highlights something important. We do not have to be perfect to enjoy a story.
That is true. I think my biggest takeaway today is that I do not need to prove my English proficiency by suffering through a movie without subtitles. I can use the tools available to me, ask for an aisle seat, and just enjoy the popcorn.
Enjoy the popcorn and use the tools. That is a fantastic mantra.
I'm going to put that on my fridge, right next to the reminder that a concession stand is not a diplomatic summit.
Laughs, please do. Now, to wrap up our cinema survival guide, I have to ask, did you ever find out what that action movie was actually about? After your negotiation attempt?
Laughs. You know what, Sophia? Yes, I did. I sat down, I turned on the English subtitles, and I enjoyed the movie. It was full of explosions and car chases. So the plot did not matter much anyway.
That is a huge victory. You faced the sticky floors, you navigated the vocabulary, and you succeeded.
I did. And if I ever go back to that theater, I know exactly what to say. One ticket, aisle seat, and a large popcorn from the snack bar. Please.
Laughs. That is the smartest thing you could possibly say. Thank you, Alex. This conversation was exactly what I needed. I feel so much more confident about going to the movies and not feeling like an alien. I'm so glad to hear that. Alex, and to all our listeners out there, if you feel anxious about going to the cinema or watching movies in English, remember this: it is okay to use subtitles. It is okay to ask for an aisle seat. And you never, ever need to negotiate for your snacks.
And if the employee asks if you want concessions, just remember, they are offering you popcorn, not a peace treaty.
Exactly. We will see you all next time. Keep your tickets handy, your subtitles ready. And bye, Alex.
Bye, Sophia.